Hello, this is Chad Smith with BC Academy, and today I'm going to show you how to create a favicon and add that favicon to your browser. This will be the default version, the one that shows up in your tabs. So before we jump into Photoshop, I want to kind of show you the linking of your favicon. This is where it really gets interesting, because back when it started in '99, this was your link in your head tag. You had a rel attribute to show the relationship between this link and the document, and then a shortcut icon value. And I'm sure we've all seen the favicon.ico, which is usually in your root folder, which is really where you want it to be. Then along came HTML5, which said we no longer need this shortcut value. It adds no value, basically. So we're just going to leave the icon value for the rel tag and then continue with the ICO. And then somewhere along the way, probably close to the HTML5 changing of the rel attribute, browsers were able to accept a PNG file instead of just the ICO file, which really helps us out because PNG files can look better than ICO files and can be smaller file sizes. So it really helps out with, you always want to serve the lowest file size possible. But as if you've been reading these comments as I've been talking, Internet Explorer browsers need the shortcut value in the rel attribute, and then all other browsers don't need that shortcut. And if you're serving up a PNG, Internet Explorer won't show that file, and it will keep looking for the ICO file. So really, if you want to show your nice, really small PNG file and have Internet Explorer show a file as well, you're going to link to just an icon and then the favicon PNG, and then in conditional tags we can say the shortcut icon and then the favicon ICO, and this is what Internet Explorer will get. Now Internet Explorer 10 doesn't listen to these conditional tags anymore, but since both files are here, it'll find the ICO file, so we're pretty much safe. Or this is what you can add to your head tag. And no, there's no problem with my slides. You don't actually have to link your favicon to your document. Browsers will look for a favicon.ico in your root, and if it's there, it'll show it. So you don't actually need to have an actual link tag to your favicon if you don't want to. Reasons that you would be if it's not in the root of the website. If you prefer putting your favicon in like an icons folder and you think that's a little bit more cleaner, go ahead and do that. You might have issues with Internet Explorer. I think they really want that favicon in the root, but I would suggest to keep it in the root instead of putting it in a folder, and then you don't even have to link it. What I've done in the past is, instead of creating the PNG and the favicon ICO, I just make an ICO file with a 32 by 32 and a 16 by 16 image and use the shortcut and icon values. Now, if you're wondering why I just said two different image values for the ICO file, that's kind of where the ICO file shines. It'll allow you to put multiple images within one file, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's jump into Photoshop and create our favicon. Now here I have a simple icon that I wanted to use. Now when you create your favicon, normally you're going to use part of your logo or something that kind of resonates with the brand of the website, and you really want to make sure it's something that can be represented in a 16 by 16 file size. So when I create a new one, I'm going to open up, well, I'm not going to open up anything, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to make it 32 by 32. I make it this size for multiple reasons. One, I want there to be a 32 by 32 pixel size version of my favicon, because that's going to be better suited for retina displays. So when there's a need for a bigger size than 16 by 16, they will have that option to pull that file. And if it's, I think Internet Explorer's address bar uses a 24 by 24 pixel icon, it'll be able to use that 32 by 32 and just scale it down. instead of using that 16 by 16 and scaling it up, which is not going to look very nice. And also, if you were just going to create a 16 by 16 pixel icon, working with a larger canvas and then sizing it down is a lot easier than working on a 16 by 16 canvas. So now, since this is kind of how I want my Favicon to look, I don't need to transfer it over to my smaller canvas. I can just close that out and then pull up my image size, make it 32 by 32, and hit OK. Then I save for web, and here is where we can kind of control the file size for our ICO file, because we're going to create a PNG. Now I have it set up here for PNG 8 using 8 colors, and you can see if I zoom in just a little bit, we're still maintaining our quality here. We're not sacrificing any pixels or anything. If I went down to 2 pixels, you can kind of see that doesn't really jive, and if I go back out to 100%, you know, it doesn't look as nice. So 8 pixels seems to be what we need. So I'm going to save that file, and I've already saved it right here as a 32 by 32, so we can just get out of this. And now that we have our 32 by 32 PNG, we can go to the web. There are ways, if I wanted to, I can take this PNG file, and I'm going to duplicate it really quick. We'll just copy and paste so I have a copy. And I could just say, I want this to be an ICO. Now, I've done this in the past, it has worked, but I also want that 16 by 16 file size just in case the browser's looking for it, so then it'll give the best optimized picture possible. So here's iConvertIcons.com. You can do multiple websites that'll help you convert your PNGs to ICO files. Photoshop used to have one you can add, like a plugin that you can add to it so you can save out ICO files, but you can find a lot of things on the web. But for this one, I can just drag that 32 by 32 file here, and then it gives me, it shows me 3 different files for that ICO. And if I download it, which you might have seen I already had it here, and I preview that file, it has 2 different images. So 32 by 32, 16 by 16, and that's what I want. And just to show you what I meant by not showing or adding your Favicon link to your page, it's apple.com here, and let's see if we can get to the page source. And if I were to find Favicon, you can see that there's no reference to that file. Apple has decided to omit that link tag and just let the browsers find it for you. We can see that if we go to apple.com/favicon.ico, and you can see it's a 32 by 32 ICO file, and that is how this icon here is showing up. And just to show you that it's not just Apple, we can go to google.com. We can view page source. They do have this meta tag here that's kind of referencing a 128 by 128 pixel Favicon, but I believe that's more for like your Chrome store and stuff like that. That is not the actual Favicon that shows up here. And if we go to google.com/favicon, you can see that they too have a 32 by 32 ICO file that's getting pulled to show this little icon. Pretty cool, huh? Now to get that onto our BC site, you can see that I have a similar version already uploaded. We go to our Develop tab, and we have the ICO file here. I'm going to remove that one because it won't override my files. So when I go to upload, I can just grab that one, and then it's uploaded. Now if we go to my template, you can see that I have the link tag, and I have my shortcut and icon values, then I have my Favicon, and then I have this weird little query, as you call it, and it's basically saying that this is the version 1 of my Favicon. So I just uploaded a new one, so I should just be able to reload and get my new icon. And as you can see, that's not happening. And what's going on here is the browser has cached that icon, for lack of a better word. They cached it hard. It's going to take a while for that icon to reload. So instead of waiting for it and hoping my users get the new icon right away, I can just call this version 2, publish this, and if all works out okay, I basically just renamed that ICO file, so it's going to upload it again. So if I hit refresh, and there we go, my new icon shows up right away. If I was honest, I'd say I'm happier with the other one, but you can kind of see how that came together. So that is how you create and install your Favicon for your desktop version. Just real quick, kind of backtracking, but if I was to remove that link tag and hit refresh, we'll try to see if it goes away, and it looks like it won't, because if we go to this, we still have the file. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.